What's up, people? Welcome to your 7th 3D Studio Max tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to hide, freeze objects and also how to work with layers. So I started anew right here, so let's go ahead and create something like two boxes. We can put those over here and we'll create create two spheres over here, and just go ahead and move those up. Go ahead and move those up above the plane just cause there's no really reason to. Just do it. And now let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. So you can go ahead and hide and freeze objects. Now when you freeze an object, it prevents it from moving or being selected, but it's still rendered out. And when you hide an object, it hides it from view, and also it's not rendered. So if you're wondering, alright, how do I do this? In order to hide or freeze an object, go to Tools and go ahead and go to Display Floater. And now this brings up your pretty much hide and freeze panel. So now if you go ahead and click an object, like I said, you can go ahead and freeze it under this section and put freeze selected. And as you can see, anything that's frozen, it turns gray. So you can take this one and freeze it too. So freeze selected. And now you can see, like I said, anytime it's frozen, you can't move it with the mouse. So let me go ahead and try to select this. Can't select it, can't select either one of these, can't move them. I can select these, but I can't select these. So let's go ahead and unfreeze all, so we can unfreeze everything. And now let me show you what hiding it does. So go ahead and click an object and go ahead hide selected. And what that does is not only hide it from view, but it also, whenever you render it out, that object will not render. So you can hide a bunch of objects, hide selected, and then whenever you want to have them pop up again, just go ahead and press unhide all, and then unhide all of them, if you couldn't guess. It's pretty easy, but that's pretty much how you hide and freeze objects. So that's all you need to know for that, pretty much. The other thing I want to show you is about layers. Now, in order to work with layers, you need this little layer toolbar right here. And if you don't have it already, then what you need to do is go to Customize, Show UI, and Show Floating Toolbars. Then the Layers toolbar will pop up and you can dock it in your main toolbar up here. So I'm not going to click it, or a bunch of toolbars are going to pop up, but you do that and get all your layers. I'll wait for you. Did you do it yet? Did you do it? Alright, you good to go? So now you should have this toolbar that popped up along with 80 other toolbars, and I'll show you guys how to create new layers, and also you'll see why new layers are useful. So at default, everything is in your default layer, all 4 objects we created. Bam, 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 bam. But say we want to separate these objects into layers from squares or cubes to spheres. So what we need to do is go click create new layer, which is the 3 pieces of paper with a little star on it, and then we got a new layer, and we'll name mine balls. Can't name it spheres because spheres isn't funny at all. We gotta name it balls. Go ahead and click OK. Now go ahead and select an object, and you need to hit this add selection to current layer. Then go ahead and select this and click add selection to current layer. So now we got these 2 balls in our layer. So let's go ahead and create another layer for the cubes. Create a new layer and create cubes. Press OK and do the same thing. Add this to the layer and add this to the layer. Now if you're wondering, alright, pretty much how can we see all these layers? Well, I'm just going to show you. Enough talking. Go ahead and click on Manage Layers, and now you can see that you have a default layer with no objects in it, and you have, if you click this little plus sign next to balls, you have sphere 01, and next to cubes, somehow I got sphere 02 in there. Just go ahead and cut that and paste it in here. So we got our 2 spheres in balls and our 2 boxes in cubes. So this is pretty much how you can work with layers easier. If you're saying, alright, what's the point of layers just for, aside from giving me a tutorial on them? Well, if you go ahead and collapse those again, what you can do, instead of hiding or freezing individual objects, you can now hide and freeze entire layers. So look at that. If you want to freeze all of your cubes, go ahead and freeze cubes. If you want to hide all of your balls, go ahead and hide both of your balls. And this is just an easy way that you can work with a group of layers. So say for example you have a huge animation with a portion of things that you don't want to accidentally mess up. Just put them all in a layer and freeze them, and then you can't move them around no matter what. So in order to delete a layer, you need to meet two criteria. First of all, no matter what, well, I'll show you first. First of all, it needs to be empty. So go ahead and cut the objects out of that and paste it in default. And as you can see, this cubes layer is empty right now. But if we go ahead and try to put delete highlighted empty layers, we can't. That's because there's a checkbox right here. Go ahead and check another layer and then you can delete it. So you can't delete any layer that has a checkbox on it, or if it has something in it. So again, if you want to delete this layer balls, you just can't highlight balls and press the X. You have to cut everything out of it, paste it into somewhere else, cut, paste, because you know it has to go somewhere. You just can't delete a layer and all your objects are going to delete. And then make sure it's not checked, highlight it, and then go ahead and press the delete highlighted empty layers button, and it'll delete highlighted empty layers. Pretty simple. So that's your pretty much, let me think if there's anything I forgot. I've already covered that pretty much. So yeah, that's it for this tutorial. You finally made it through it. I know it was tough, but thank you guys for watching. If there's anything I forgot, I'll just put in the next tutorial, but I think I covered everything, all the basics at least. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next tutorial.